Today we're going to fire up the classic and cook a raspberry glazed pork loin. So let's get started. Okay, I've taken about a 3-pound pork loin and I've trimmed all the silver skin and fat from it. And I've trussed this guy up because we're going to marinate this overnight in our brine. Okay, this brine is the same molasses brine that I've used on smoked pork chops before. I'll give you the recipe for this on the screen here and in the video description. So we're just going to put our pork loin in there and get it completely submerged. I'm using the briner bucket, and we'll just push that down below the water line, give it a twist, put the lid on it, and this will marinate overnight in the refrigerator. First thing I've done here is lit a fire, and we're going to set up for some indirect and direct 2-zone cooking. So I'm just going to move my charcoal in over the top of those fire starters. That ought to be plenty of charcoal. Then I'm going to set one grate directly over the coals down low and another grate up high, and I'm going to let that fire get nice and hot. We're not going to cook with the thermometer today. We're just going to cook hot and not so hot. So I'm going to let this warm up, and we're going to leave the bottom vent and the top vent fully open. Now we're going to make a glaze. I've got 1 jar of raspberry jam here, and I'm going to add in just a little bit of maple syrup, and we're going to add Tabasco Chipotle to taste. You're just going to want to add a little bit of this and mix it in and taste it until you get a sweet heat that you like. And then I'm just going to set this aside till we're ready to use it. Okay, I've taken this out of the marinade and it's still tied up, and we're going to rinse it. Actually, I'm not going to rinse it. I'm going to season this guy up with a little rub. We're going to use this Atlanta Grill Company Georgia Butts and Ribs. So I'm just going to give this a nice liberal coat on all sides before we toss this on the fire. And now that we've got this nice bed of coals here, we're just going to take this tenderloin, or this pork loin, it's not a tenderloin, and toss it on the fire. We're going to get it seared up all the way around. So I'm going to keep this thing moving and keep it turning until we get a good sear, and then we'll be back. Okay, after this guy starts to get a little char, we're going to put a little bit of our jam mix on there, and we're going to baste it and continue to turn it. And we're going to build up a really nice, beautiful glaze on this loin. Okay, we've been turning and basting and got a nice glaze built up on this thing. So we're going to move it from the direct heat over to the indirect heat, and we're going to continue to baste it a little bit until we get the internal temperature up on this. I'm going to bring it up to about 140 to 145. Okay guys, our pork loin's ready. It's probing about 142 or 143, so I'm going to take it out, wrap it in foil, and rest it for about 10 minutes. Okay guys, I've gone ahead and sliced this up and drizzled it with a little bit of our raspberry jam, and this guy's ready to serve. So give this a try, let me know what you think. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/Kamado Joe. Follow us on Twitter @Kamado Joe. And until next time, I'm John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.